Hello, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, if you are a recurring viewer or a subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support of my channel. I really appreciate you all being here today. I want to do a weekend reading update just to go over a couple of the books that I finished last week and what I am currently reading and most likely will be reading moving into next week. Before I get started, I wanted to do a quick Kindle update. So yesterday I posted a video asking if anyone else was experiencing some strange glitches, cover art not showing up, and then strange characters being put into the text of sideloaded content. And I got some great responses back. You all were very helpful with sort of helping me figure out what was going on. I was able to fix the strange characters in the text by reformatting some of the books with Calibre, which is an application for formatting ebook files. So I was able to reformat some of the books that were giving me trouble and then put them back onto my Kindle. And then this morning when I woke up, I had cover art again. So I'm back, at least for today, back to having cover art for my books. So that's great. I still am very confused as to why it went away in the first place and then what brought it back, but I'm hopeful that maybe that just means Amazon did spot some sort of a glitch and they were able to update it and maybe it fixed whatever the problem was. I'm not sure. So for now, it's fixed and I'm hoping that will remain true. So we'll just have to see, but hopefully it means everything's fine now. So as for my reading update, I finished 2 books last week and then I am currently reading 2. So I thought that I would start with the 2 books that I read last week and then I will move into what I'm currently reading. So the first book that I finished last week was Eye of the Shoal by Helen Scales. And this was absolutely beautiful. So I did show this in last weekend's reading update saying I was getting ready to start it. It's not very long, it's only 260 pages, but I did decide to just really slow down and enjoy the reading. And so I did take the entire week to read it, and I'm really glad I did because it's honestly quite a beautiful book. And not just aesthetically, although I do absolutely love that cover. And it has, if I can find them, wonderful chapter illustrations at the beginning of every chapter, these great pen and ink illustrations, which I absolutely love. So I think I'm going to be doing a joint review of this along with her newest book, The Abyss, just because The Abyss talks about, or is a book about deep ocean life, whereas Eye of the Shoal is focusing on shallow water marine life. So I thought it might be interesting to talk about them both together since they're sort of the extreme opposites of each other. So I don't have a copy currently of The Abyss. I borrowed a digital library copy, so I need to get either the ebook or a physical copy if I can, because I would like to have 2 representations of both, a representation of both of those books in that review. And I don't know if that's going to come this week. It may be next week or a couple weeks out from now, but it is a video that is on the top of my sort of my interest and priority list of videos that I want to get out. But this was absolutely fantastic, and the writing is beautiful. It's sort of a blend of memoir and nature writing, which is one of my favorite things, and it's done really, really well here. So I would highly recommend this if you're interested in the topic and if you're interested in sort of nature and memoir and nature sort of type books. This is definitely a recommendation. Then the other book that I finished last week was Essex Dogs by Dan Jones, and that was part of a read-along that I was doing with Steve Donahue, where we were doing one part every week and then doing a video about it on the weekend, and then next weekend we will do either a live stream or a recorded Zoom discussion, something to sort of talk about the conclusion. And I still need to put out my personal video for my thoughts on part 3. I do apologize that has not come out yet. I was trying to do those on Saturdays, and then yesterday my recording schedule kind of got all mixed up and out of whack, so I wasn't able to get that one out yet. It will still be coming. It may just be a little bit late. It may be sort of middle of the week. I'll try to get it out as soon as possible, but it is on the way still. Really enjoyed it. I haven't read anything like it really before. I don't read a lot of historical fiction, and I definitely don't read a lot of and of the historical fiction that I do read, it's definitely not medieval. So it was really nice to experience that. And Dan Jones is a fantastic writer. We obviously knew that from his fantastic nonfiction work, but it ported right over into the realm of fiction. I was really impressed. Very much looking forward to the final 2 books in the trilogy. I don't think a release date has been dropped for the second one, but I'm hoping that maybe next year even we might get the second one, which would be absolutely fantastic. So I still will be putting out a video for that one. I'm not sure when that will be, but hopefully as soon as possible. And then moving on to the 2 books that I am currently reading. See if I can get the cover here. Sort of. Okay, so I'm still sort of having some weird cover problems because it loaded this sort of secondary just text cover, which is annoying. But moving on to what I'm currently reading, the first of the 2 books that I'm currently reading is The Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa, and I'm reading this for Classics and Company. And if you are not familiar with Classics and Company, it is a year-long reading event hosted by myself and another booktuber and novella. For the entire year, we have a list of 8 books that we are reading, so each book gets about a month and a half. And then at the end of every book, we will have a recorded Zoom discussion, and novella myself and a special co-host for each book. So it's a really great time. We've had a blast so far. Our first book was Dangerous Liaisons, and that was sort of testing the waters of figuring out how to use a Discord server, figuring out how to do our recorded Zoom discussion at the end, and it went really well, so put us in a very positive mind frame for the rest of the event. If you're interested in joining, I will leave a link down below to our Discord server. If you want to go, poke around over there and see if it's something that you are interested in joining. There is no pressure to stay for the entire year because that's quite a long time, but we do have a list on the Discord server of the books that we're reading along with their related months that we'll be reading them. So you'll be able to decide if you want to, duck in later on in the year, or if there's a book coming up soon that looks interesting. So I'll leave all that information in the description down below. But I'm really enjoying the Book of Disquiet so far. I've really slowed down my reading pace on it. So last week in my reading update, I said that I was on page, I think it was 100 or something like that. And I'm now on page 130. So I read 30 pages in it last week. But I feel very content with that amount just because of the density of this book. There really is no structure. There's no plot. It's very very much musings and diary type entries, lots of stream of consciousness. So it's a lot of just sort of free flowing thought. And so it's good to slow down and really try to absorb it and read slowly. So I think probably moving into this week, I'll be reading maybe 10 or 15 pages a day, but probably not a whole lot more because I'm really trying to force myself to slow down and really try to absorb as much as I possibly can, just because I really have never read anything like this before, but I'm really enjoying it. And then the other book that I am currently reading, we'll see if this one gives me a cover. It did. Wonderful. The other book that I'm reading is Fathoms by Rebecca Giggs, The World and the Whale. This is a great book. So essentially it is a book about whales, but it's also a memoir sort of mixed with nature writing again, which is sort of a reading trend that I have going on right now, but it's really well done. So I haven't read anything by this author before, but I'm really enjoying her style. She is not a marine biologist, but she sort of was enamored and her imagination was captured by an experience when she was young with whales, and so it sort of sparked a lifelong interest in them, and then this is sort of the culmination of that interest. And so far it's brilliant. I'm about 30% into it, and it's really been the portions I've read so far have really been laying the groundwork for sort of the story of the whale, giving us the evolution of the whale, the ecosystems it lives in, a brief history of whaling and sort of the the dangerously close level to extinction that whales have fallen to, and then sort of certain species slow recovery, coming back to Plentiful Numbers. So it's been a fantastic read. I wanted to try to get this whole book read by the end of today. I'm about 30% through right now, which is about 200 pages. So I'm really not seeing myself getting the entire book read today, but I'm hoping to get maybe another 100 pages or so. So most likely this will be a carryover into next week. The Book of Disquiet will certainly be a carryover into next week, and then probably on Tuesday or Wednesday I'll be able to start something new. I'm not sure what that will be yet. It will probably be something pulled from my to be read stack. It may be this right here, We Are All Whalers, The Plight of the Whale and Our Responsibility by Michael J. Moore. This may be what I pick up on Tuesday, just because it's pretty short. It's 192 pages, so I might be able to read that one from Tuesday to Sunday and then be able to talk about it. So I will see. I'm not sure if that will be the one, but it most likely will be, because it's sort of where my interest is falling at the moment. So it's more than likely what I will be picking up. But that is all for today. I just wanted to do just a weekend reading update. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you would like. I would love to hear what you are reading this weekend, what your reading plans are going into the week. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time, and happy reading.